So I kept hearing rumors, people kept emailing me, even leaving comments. Is Joe McCain or Joe McCann, however you want to pronounce his last name, is he or does he have a connection with the owner of the Zuri Resort? Does he have a connection with any of the hospitals? You guys who know me know I get down to it. I look at the research and I dig deep. So this is what we're going to do right now today. We're going to see if he is actually connected to those resorts or those hospitals. So, hey, maybe we could put two and two together. Fugitive TV, stay tuned. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel. And what we do here is we take a look at cases of missing individuals, cases that need more spotlight, or cases that need a deeper dive research. In some of these cases, what we do is we look at them from a different point of view. As you see, I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I committed some white collar crime and then I ran from the law for 15 years. I lived in different countries under different names. Then I turned myself in. I have this YouTube channel. I run multiple businesses and I help family members locate missing individuals. Well, today we have a case that I've been digging into. I did 2 videos on it. Each video I've got deeper and deeper. And this is how this case is probably going to go. Because this case I'm realizing is getting a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, a lot of everything that we just need to see if we can find some proof on. So this is the case of Ashlee Janae, the social media influencer who was well, I wouldn't want to say taken out by her fiance because we really don't know yet, okay? Well, her fiance, Joe McCain, or it could be McCann, however you want to pronounce it. Her fiance, Joe, took her to Tanzania on a vacation for her birthday. And not only that, he proposed to her during that time. Well, they were staying at a resort, the Zuri Resort in Zanzibar. Zanzibar is an island right on the coast of Tanzania. And they got into an argument. Hotel staff came and split them up, put Joe on the other side. Okay. Now, this is just a quick rundown, so you guys get the drift of what's going on in case you haven't heard of this. So they put Joe on the other side of the resort. And then later on that night, they found Ashlee Janae pretty much hanging. Some reports say a closet. Some reports say above a door. We still have not got the official proof yet of where she was found from. Okay. Now I did speak to somebody at the resort, so I will let you know what they told me. But we have not gotten official, a statement from police law saying this is where they found her or whatever it is, right? So we do know that she was found hanging. Now, she was still alive at that point. They transferred her to the hospital. We're going to talk about the hospital they transferred her to. They took her to the hospital. Now, the family who lives back here in the States in Jersey, Joe called them and let them know, but he didn't call them right away. He waited hours later and called them and said, they found her. She's going to be okay. She's in stable condition. Basically said she's going to be okay. So they took her from the first hospital, transported her to another hospital. And at that hospital, allegedly is where she passed away. From then, Joe was taken into custody for questioning and they took his passport. Now, we haven't heard from Joe since then. We don't know where Joe's at. Joe could be thrown in the ocean somewhere. We have no clue. Nobody knows where this man is at. As far as we know, they took his passport and he's been MIA. They took him in for custody and things like that. So now that you get the drift of the case, let's get into more details, all right? So the details is, and I went over a lot of these details so you guys can go back and look at some of my videos and you can look at it from the first video to the second video because I get more in depth each video, all right? So Ashlee was working in Miami. I'm going to break it down for you real quick. Working in Miami at some of the clubs down there, bottle waitress, things like that. Joe sometimes take vacations down in Miami. And one of the reasons of why he met Ashlee. I spoke to somebody Ashlee actually worked with. Now, this wasn't the first argument they had at, they didn't just weren't together and then all of a sudden at this argument. The person that worked with Ashlee says sometimes they would argue in the club, all kind of things. Even at the resort, they actually were arguing every other night or some nights where they were there. And what happened was there was a neighbor who stayed in the unit next door visiting, complained. And when they complained, they came and said, you guys got to break up or, split up. So that's when Joe went to the resort, or I should say a unit on the other end of the resort, and Ashlee stayed at that one. Joe, at one point, had $400 million, okay, in funding for his crypto business, okay? So at one point, Joe had 400, or I should say a little under 400, I think it was like 394 million, but still $400 million in crypto funding is what he had at one point for his business as of last year. He does crypto trading. He's in a, he gets investors to fund in his crypto business is pretty much what he does. Last year, Joe was supposed to get hired as the lead for another crypto business that was worth $1 billion. All right. But when they found out that the funds he had, that $400 million funds, some sort of way, he lost 80% of it. So he lost a little over $300 million in those funds from other investors, allegedly. And because of that, they never gave him the opportunity to lead this $1 billion company that was supposed to go off the ground. Now, this is allegedly because to this day, that company that was supposed to go up off this crypto company has to this day not made a statement or gave a reason why. So there's just some people out there saying this is what happened. There's some whistleblowers on X and things like that. Well, so keep in mind, Joe lost $300 million and it wasn't of his own money, people. So keep that in mind. So they go to this resort. Okay. It's during her birthday and he proposes to her. Now, the resort is Zuri Resort. Okay. So let's take a look at this resort real quick. All right. So this is the resort, Zuri Zanzibar Resort. Okay. And they believe in sustainability, pretty much a lot of what the new tech geniuses are doing. Elon Musk kind of, I wouldn't say he started the sustainability thing, but he's kind of one of the ones that put it in the spotlight. And from there, it just kind of grew. Okay. So this is the resort. As you see, it's on the island, the North Island of Zanzibar, right? So you can do your weddings there. In my other video, we also took a deep dive into the actual rooms or units that they have. So we did take a deep dive into those. So you can see here some of the rooms they have. Here's the layout of one of the rooms. Now you see, very nice room, right? Now, when they say hanging by a door, I mean, possible. See these banisters up here? I always said it could have been one of these banisters, but who knows? Like I said, there's no official report. There's also a closet in there. But when you look at the closet looks kind of funny. It really does. But this is Zanzibar. All right. Now let's go into who owns this, because I keep seeing people keep saying that, hey, he's friends, they're connected. So this is the actual owner. This man right here, okay? Vaclav Deshmar. Vaclav Deshmar, the Reckless Auteur, all right? He is the actual owner. He is with, right here, the company's called Design Hotels, all right? Up here in the corner, as you see. Now, he is from Czech Republic, okay? He's from the Czech Republic. And it tells you right here, when Czech polymath Vaclav locked eyes on a far-flung African beach, he envisioned his own hotel. He didn't see what would come next. All right. Now it says he is an investor, polyanthropist, proud Renaissance man. Not only is he a shareholder in RSJ, one of the largest algorithmic trading firms in the world, Dishmar runs Sheklovzak Models Agency, is the founder of Prague's DOX Center for Contemporary Art, is one of the master puppeteers behind the Mercedes-Benz Prague Fashion Week, okay? And is the director of I Am Fishhead, a documentary film on the role of psychopaths in the business and politics. If that weren't enough, he's now a Design Hotels original thanks to his stunning new Zuri Resorts. All right. So let's take a look at the Mercedes-Benz Prague. All right. Let's take a look at this. Now, so you see who he is. He's a guy from the Czech Republic. All right. Now, he's also does with the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. This is a big thing that happens overseas in Europe. Okay. 18,000 followers on Instagram. And then they mark down the days and things like that. All right. So that's one. All right. That's Joe. That's Joe McCann. Like I said, whatever you want to pronounce him. I keep seeing people pronounce it differently. Now, I say McCann because I live by a furniture store, and the furniture store actually is CANN apostrophe S. A lot of people call it Kane's Furniture. I think I even seen a commercial called Kane's Furniture. So I don't know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce his name. This guy's nowhere to be found to even tell you how to pronounce it. So, hey, that's that, right? So when you scroll down to the bottom of Design Hotels, it said, what drew you to Zanzibar? A while ago, I was contacted by a good friend of mine who's a mountain climber. He called me and said, hey, Vaclav, I'm on an island of Zanzibar and have just found the most beautiful beach ever, and it's for sale. This was back before tourism really took off there, and I must admit, the beach really was beautiful. Initially, I didn't have any plans for it. I just wanted to buy it, so I did. We bought a few more plots of land and had 14 hectares in total. Crazy, right? But hey, why not invest in Africa? And we're going to talk about investing in Africa and how the government is involved. I talked about this in my last video, okay? What social responsibilities measures did you take at Zuri? Well, we're hoping to preserve the beach. We could have created a 200-room property on a plot of land that we had, but we created 55 villas. And that's exactly how to stop mass tourism from taking over and ruining the beautiful beach. That's important to me. We also invest money in protecting corals, providing computers for local schools, and creating local jobs and training people, okay? To a point, that is true, but to a point, it's not true from what I have heard from some of the locals that are there, okay? So, like I said, he is with Design Hotels, okay? So, this is the actual owner, that I was telling you about, and this is who he's with. So, here is his Instagram right here. I looked through his highlights, his Zanzibar highlights. I didn't see any pictures with Joe in it. It was pretty much pictures of him, some of the employees. I looked through the people he's following. Now you can't see all his followers, okay? Only he can see that. But I looked through the following. I didn't see Joe. I didn't even see Ashlee. Now here's his Facebook, okay? So I've even looked through the Facebook. I didn't see any pictures of Joe. I didn't see any pictures of Ashlee as well. As you see, I mean, from far away, you would think that's Joe, but that's not Joe. But I went through this. I didn't see anything here. Here is his X account. I didn't see Joe or Ashlee on here as well. I've pretty much been trying to scrub every social media I can find of him. And so far, I haven't found anything that does with that can connect Joe and Ashlee. No pictures or no anything so far. All right, so now that you guys see that, he is the owner of the resort, and I just showed you proof. Now, on all his social media accounts, I couldn't find any connection This is just on social media though, right? So X, Facebook, Instagram, I couldn't find a picture. I couldn't find nothing that connects Joe with him. So some people are saying, that's his friend. I want to know how they're saying it, like it's his friend. This is what I want to know. I want to see exactly how he's associated with him if they're friends. I would like to know that, because when I do think a lot of things, I try and show you guys proof, or I try and show you guys, hey, this is where I got it from, unless some source that I can't identify, you guys know, for integrity reasons, then that's a different story. And then I also tell you, this is what they told me, but it doesn't always mean it's true. So, I always tell you guys that. Well, even though I don't see a connection with them on social media, does not mean they don't know each other. It does not mean. Now, I told you, Joe apparently has been to Zanzibar a few times. One of the reasons why is because Zanzibar is in the middle of building a $1.5 billion city, all right, in South Zanzibar, and it's just going to be for techs, crypto hedge fund members, and the Zanzibar government is involved with this. So Joe's whole business model is investors. His whole business is investors. Joe was a DJ at first before this. He was DJ McCann or whatever. He was a DJ. He had a record label called Mafia Records, and he has another Node something. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but that's how he was a DJ first. And then I guess after DJing, he got into crypto and then started this pretty much big crypto business, all right? And trading crypto and getting investors. So his whole business, it deals with investors. If there's no investors, Joe doesn't have a business, okay? So all the money he brings in pretty much is from investors, is what he's doing. So it would make sense for him to be going back and forth to Zanzibar if Zanzibar is filled with investors. Now, you saw this guy's check, and he's not from Africa whatsoever. So the source I spoke to in Zanzibar, they told me a lot of wealthy, okay, Europeans, especially white Europeans, will come to Zanzibar and Tanzania and invest because it's easy to pay people off. It's easy to buy people. It's easy to buy things. All right. Especially with the dollar, the American dollar. I showed you guys in the last video. If you gave somebody $500 in American dollar, they're a millionaire in their currency. Okay. Let alone $1,000. It was something like, I want to say maybe 20 million in their currency. It was, the number was ridiculous. So how we read how on that website, support schools and computers to an extent, because what I was told from the source that's in Zanzibar, they said Zanzibar is still pretty much a third world country. That you walk off the resort, turn the corner, and people are begging you for $1, a dime, scamming you, trying to get money out of you because everybody's in dire need of money. And when rich people come to this island or Tanzania with money, they get treated like a god. They get treated like a king because they're looking at them like, whoa, you have all this money. Can you help me? Just things like that, right? Which would make sense. So it's easy for these people to go to the island, invest, make money and things like that. Now that we got that out the way, like I said, I don't know if he knows this guy. Now, this guy you saw, he's an investor. Keep that in mind, people. He's an investor. All right. What does Joe need to run his business? Investors. All right. So let's look at the hospital real quick. So I told you she was taken to two separate hospitals. When they first found her, okay, they took her to this hospital right here. Now, another thing that the source told me was, which aligned perfectly with the interview I heard from a lady from there, they both said the same thing. They said that a staff member walked in, saw her hanging, but didn't immediately help her. Walked out or ran out, I guess. I don't know which one it is. And they didn't even go back to an hour later. But the person who I talked to said they could not confirm why they went back an hour later. They don't know. All right. But they first took her to North Valley Hospital. Now, North Valley Hospital is not far from the resort. All right. I believe it was only a few minutes. Actually, look, it shows right here. See? Zuri Zanzibar Resort. And they took her right here. It's like 7 minutes down the street. North Valley Hospital. Okay. So they took her there first to North Valley Hospital. And let's see, they have an Instagram because we're going to go through this. All right. They have 385 followers on here. And you see, it's just some generic things, right? It's really just a generic. Let's go to, looks like they have a website. So we're going to click on their website. If it works, it might not work. Okay, let's go here. So this picture right here looks nothing like the picture we see. This picture looks nothing like the picture we see on Google. We'll go back to Google real quick. We will go back, don't worry, but it looks nothing like it. Services, surgery department, radiology department, and it says emergency department too. So they do have emergency, okay? So they do have that. Now, let's keep in mind, go back to this picture they have here. All right. And let's go back to what it shows on Google. Look what it shows on Google. I don't know. They could be fooling us. Here we go. They could be fooling us with the picture on Google, okay? So to me, it looks like this is just a tiny hospital. It doesn't look like it's big or anything like that. Let me get back to the actual building. That's the hospital right there. So it looks like it's just a tiny hospital, okay? So that's the hospital they took her to first, okay? And then it says right here, at North Valley Hospital, we provide a wide range of diagnostic treatments for tourists, expats, and locals. Our services are recognized nationally and internationally for clinical expertise. Okay, so it tells you right off the bat, pretty much a hospital for tourists. So you can see why they took her there to begin with. Anybody who probably gets hurt at that resort, they probably take them there. And it looked, like I said, a small hospital. Now, where they took her next was over an hour away. They took her to this hospital, Ampola Tashkaka Hospital. And I don't think I pronounced that right. I know I slaughtered that, but this is the hospital they took her to. This is the hospital allegedly where she ended up passing away at. Whenever this loads. Now I will show you something. So here we go, Ambola Hospital. Okay. So as you see, it is a legit hospital. Doctors, phone number. They have a Facebook. Now right here, I found this interesting. Look at this. From 2018, a post from Santos says, "You are silent killers." This is from 2018. I wonder what they meant from that. I thought that was odd. But let's go back to the actual hospital. And I want to show you something. Hospital acquires controlling stake in a Regency Medical Center. Zanzibar Ampola has taken controlling 60% stake in Regency Medical Center in Dar es Salaam, forming a strategic alliance between two of Tanzania's leading private healthcare providers. The acquisition announced in Zanzibar is intended to improve healthcare quality across the country by combining resources, expertise to provide patient-centered services. This milestone represents more than a business transaction. It is a commitment to transforming healthcare in Tanzania, said Alabaslam. I'm not even going to pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try. All right. But the mix of this is Ambola purchased, so they got money. Ambola's got some money, they're purchasing other medical facilities. All right. Now, I was curious into if these hospitals are private or public hospitals. Okay. Like I said, we get deep here. Some of this might play a factor. You don't know. So I put Zanzibar, list of private hospitals. That's the first thing I put. It said North Valley Hospital, which is the hospital she went to. It says top private hospitals. North Valley Hospital, a highly rated hospital serving tourists and locals, offering 24/7 care and diagnostics. So that does pop up. Okay, so it does pop up. Then it says underneath it, Tashakta or whatever, Global Hospital, a modern multi-facility hospital equipped for inpatient and outpatient care. All right. So that's the next one. So then I put Zanzibar private hospital versus public. Healthcare in Zanzibar consists of two tiered systems, a tax-funded public system that is free for citizens but often under-resourced, and then a growing private sector that offers higher standard fee-based care preferred by tourists. So a lot of these, when it comes to the private, they're going to be charged or they have to have some insurance. So in other words, they were going to charge or they're charging Ashlee, okay? Or Ashlee has some sort of tourist insurance, which a lot of people get, okay? So that is possible. Now, I will tell you this. Ebola is actually ran by a company called Viger, Viger, all right? It says, welcome to Ebola, your trusted provider of quality and compassionate healthcare. Our mission is to empower individuals with accurate medical information, professional care for information, health decisions. Okay. Our commitment to excellence and patient-centered care sets us apart as the leading healthcare provider. Just by reading this looks like this was a bigger hospital than North Valley. This looks like this hospital had more resources than North Valley, okay? More equipment, maybe more doctors, so just by reading this is what I'm getting, okay? Is that this hospital had more. All right. So I even Googled, does Ebola Hospital take patients from North Valley Hospital, Zanzibar? It says yes. Ebola Tashka Hospital in Mtwimni, Zanzibar is equipped to handle patients from other facilities, including those in North Valley, Nujui region as a higher level or partner institution. Then it says relationship and role. Ebola Hospital is a major private facility. You hear that? Major private facility in Zanzibar that provides advanced in hospital care and has been known to receive patients for specialized treatment. The hospital specializes in urgency care, including emergency services, and has, for instance, provided care for emergencies in Zanzibar, okay? It offers advanced services such as national care, NICU, NICU, or orthopedic surgery and extensive laboratory tests. So by reading this, because some people are asking, why did she even get transferred from one hospital to the other? Well, by reading this, this is common. It makes sense. This hospital, Ebola, looks like it was a bigger hospital. They already have more money. I showed that to you because they're buying other medical facilities. They have more inpatient treatment, and it tells you right here. Ebola Hospital is a major private facility in Zanzibar that provides advanced in-hospital care. Okay, so it tells you right there. So since when they found her, she was still alive, I saw some people asking as well online, well, what kind of treatment can a hospital give a person for hanging? What kind of treatment could go into this? Well, obviously it has to be some type of medical treatment for them to transfer her to a bigger and, hospital that's more advanced. So, you can just Google it and it pops right up. A patient found hanging, known in medical literature as a near hanging, if they survive initial suspension, requires immediate, aggressive, and multidisciplinary care, focusing first on airwave management and neurological stabilization. Treatment typically follows advanced trauma life support (ATLS) guidelines, focusing on correcting cerebral hypoxia, treating potential spinal fractures, and addressing neck vascular injuries. You guys know what vascular is, right? Well, so not long ago, for you guys who've been following me, you guys know I was reporting on a case with what was his name? Spencer Monique Tepe. And they were found both unalived in their house. And if you remember, it was Monique's ex that did the unaliving. Sorry, we can't use the N word here on YouTube, MURDER, especially on your small channel like mine, because they will flag the channel, sometimes flag the video. So if you guys don't want to hear the filter, please like and subscribe. Please, I'm almost at 25,000 followers. Like and subscribe, help me take the filter off. Thank you. But her ex-husband ended up unaliving them. And her ex-husband was a vascular surgeon. So I had to learn what a vascular surgeon was and exactly what they did from that case. Well, vascular does with arteries and does with veins. It's actually one of the hardest, okay, I guess studies to go to school for if you want to be a surgeon. Is one of the hardest to become a vascular surgeon. We're talking about over a decade of school, come to find out, okay? So it says addressing neck vascular injuries, meaning veins, okay? Arteries. So if any of those are damaged, most likely a surgeon would have to go in and probably reconstruct the veins. That's what vascular surgery does. So I'm taking it that North Valley Hospital did not have this qualifications or the resources to do everything that was needed. So they transferred her an hour away to this other hospital that probably had the resources to probably try and save her life. Now you got to remember, this hospital was an hour away from each other, okay? Over an hour. So them transporting her from one destination to the other could have played a factor. We don't know if she passed away on the ride there. Think about it. We officially don't know if she passed away on the ride there or if she passed away while she's in the hospital. Is there an official time? Can anybody show me an autopsy of an official time of when she passed away? So, but we don't know, right? So she could have passed away in the hospital, could have passed away, but I could see why they transfer her there. I mean, it makes sense. Now, there is one connection that I do know of. Now, I don't know if this is the same person or not, but there's an investor, okay? The initials are C and D. He invested into Joe's company. C and D also invested into the medical field, not in Zanzibar, but in Tanzania. Okay. I'm not going to give you his full name yet because he might not be part of it. So I don't want to throw him out there and he's not part of anything, but he invested into Joe's company and he also invested into Tanzania, not Zanzibar, but Tanzania, into their medical field. Okay. So he has investments into Tanzania's medical field. But remember, he also invested into Joe's business. Now that I brought you all this, okay? I told you in my last video, I put where they targeted, as in was Joe and Ashlee targeted. Because here's the thing. You have three theories. Well, some people say two. I'm the one who thought of the third. The first one is that Ashlee, of course, did it herself because that's what they told us, right? She did it herself. They got into an argument, did it herself. You ask yourself, why would she do this to herself? What was the argument this big of? Was she drunk? Was she on anything, anything like that to just made her just, because no matter how, and I tell people this all the time, no matter how a person looks happy, no matter how happy they look, just think about this. You guys watch, you remember the show Ellen? Remember Ellen DeGeneres? Remember Twitch? We saw Twitch all the time. He was happy. Remember, he was the dancer, the DJ. Remember that? And then Twitch took his own self out. People was like, what? Why? Twitch took himself out. The show canceled. Ellen's show canceled. They were ending it. We don't know if that's why. But then people like me and you will be like, well, he was Twitch. He could probably go get another job somewhere. But we don't know. We don't know if he was battling these demons this whole time. We don't know. Let's go to the fashion designer, Kate Spade. Kate Spade. Okay? She did it to herself upstairs in her family's home while everybody, if I remember correctly, was downstairs. All right? With a piece of clothing. So it happened with Kate Spade, and she's a multimillionaire. So I'm not saying Ashlee did it herself. But what I am saying, if she did do it, I actually wouldn't be shocked, because I know that some people hide demons. And hey, matter of fact, my book, Rare Redemption, that's going to be out soon. My whole life is in here, and it's about me being on the run from, I grew up as a great kid. I was a good play sports, and then how my life turned upside down. And not only that, how I tried to take myself out. I literally tried to take myself out, but I didn't succeed. I failed at it. It's a great thing, right? Because now I'm here talking to you. So I can see where some people might just have that judgment and they're like, oh, So that's the first theory. Second theory is Joe did it. Okay, got into an argument, they moved her down. Now, why would Joe do it after he just proposed to her? Why would he do it? One theory would be, was she going to expose him for something? Now, what was she exposing for? Now, you got to remember, Joe lost $300 million of funding. We don't know how he lost it. We don't know where it went. We don't know if it went on vacations. We don't know if he was making it rain in the strip club. We don't know what Joe was doing with that money. That is just, I can't find that, okay? And I can find a lot of stuff, but I can't find what he did with the money. I found financials on his business, okay? I found that. That's easy. I found that, okay? But I can't find what happened to the funds of the money. I found some of his shares went to his ex-wife who lives on the West Coast. Okay. I found that, but the 300 million is, we don't know. But what if she knew about the 300 million because they were together around the time? It was only last summer. So what if she knew something about that and she threatened to expose him? What if she threatened to expose him? And he was like, oh no, I can't have this. You got to go. You have to go. We don't know exactly where all that 300 million came from. You got to remember that. We don't know. It came from investors, but some of these investors don't play. I do cases every single day. I see people dying for way less. I see people dying for free, let alone $300 million. Then the other theory is, were they targeted because he lost so much money? Some people commented on my last video, and some people commented, they said, well, that wouldn't make sense. Why would they get her and not him? Well, you got to think of something here. See, here's the thing. If you've never been in a situation like that, you wouldn't think of certain things, right? Well, this can go two ways. Okay. For you people that's been following me with the Nancy Guthrie case, I interviewed a person who's doing life currently in prison. All he did was abduct people. That's all he did, abduct people in South America, okay? He never had a regular job, nothing. He abducted people for one of the cartel groups. Now, when he broke it down to me, he says usually over money, revenge, or something political of why they abducted people. And he said a lot of times if it's they wouldn't abduct the person who was responsible. So for example, Joe, who owes a $300 million, they wouldn't go abduct Joe. Why? It makes no sense. They're not going to abduct Joe. They're going to abduct somebody close to Joe. First of all, they're going to do that to punish him. Okay? Punish him. They're going to be like, oh man, I abducted my kid, girl, wife, whatever it is. And if they want their money back, I abducted them. And Joe's going to be forced to get the money back because he knows he's responsible. So you get where I'm going? So you also have not just abduction, but as in revenge. Okay. This happens a lot in street life, especially with gangs. A lot. Okay. As in, if I can't get you, I'm going to get somebody close to you. You're going to suffer that way. Sometimes it's more suffering knowing that somebody lost their life because of your mistake and your doing. Now you got to live with that for the rest of your life. Okay. Some people take joy in doing that to other people. Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but this would explain some of the questions I saw in my last video. Okay. As in, hey, if they were targeted, think about it. Remember, Joe was the one put into a new unit, not her. She stayed in the same unit. Okay. So if they already knew what unit she was in, that was easy. Let's go in there. Joe left. Let's do our thing. Now, if they were targeted, that means somebody there inside job. Because if they only wanted to get Ashlee, then how would they know Joe left, right? Inside job. Who was in the unit next door to them? Who was it? What if they went into the unit to get Joe and Ashlee? Why has nobody thought of that one? What if they went into the unit to get what the perfect picture of them was supposed to get Joe and Ashlee, but they went in there and just saw Ashlee. And they're like, oh, where's Joe at? They didn't know Joe got moved. What if Joe knew this was going to happen and he got moved on purpose? See, there's a lot of theories in this thing. Now, I will tell you, the source told me that the people who, I guess, complained, okay, to their knowledge, those people never got questioned. They don't even know what happened to those people, okay? They couldn't give me their names. I asked, but they couldn't give me their name, but they don't even know what happened to the people. And they don't even know if that person got questioned. Police didn't do a lot of questioning when they arrived. They took the person who found Ashlee in. They don't know what happened to them, but they took them in. They don't know if they're still in jail or what. Okay. They took another person in as well. There's a lot of mystery going on, a lot of hiding going on about certain things. Okay. Zanzibar government is corrupt. Easily be paid off, easily bought, and everything else. So yeah, we don't know exactly what's going on. We don't know. But I want to bring you guys some of these things that I kept hearing some people talk about. Is Joe friends with the owner of the resort? Nobody never mentioned the owner of the resort. So here you guys go. Okay. You guys find something? Let me know. Is Joe friends with any of the owners of the hospital? Well, here's the hospitals. Here's who owns one of them. It makes sense of why they transfer her to one hospital to the other because of the vascular reason, especially in her neck. If there's nobody at this hospital to perform any surgery like that, then they have to transfer her to the big hospital. I myself, what was it, a few years ago, I had a cyst in my neck. I went to New Orleans, got sick, got a cyst, or came back here to Florida, got a cyst in my neck. And I went to one hospital and they transferred me to the bigger hospital. And I was in the bigger hospital for 2 days. So even me, I got transferred to a bigger hospital. So it would make sense. Now, did she do it herself? We don't know. And if she did, what would the motive be for her to do it herself? just at that split second. Did Joe do it? And if Joe did it, what would the motive be? Okay. And if did he do it himself or pay somebody? Okay. Now, I will end it with this. There is video footage. The person told me there is video footage. Okay. The person told me the video footage shows her going back into the room. Okay. And the housemate, I guess, is by the door or right by the door or at the door with the charging cord because she asked to borrow a charger. And she went into the room by herself. As far as to the source's knowledge, they said Joe never walked over there. He never passed a camera. Doesn't mean that he didn't know where the cameras are and snuck, but he never passed a camera. But the workers did. And they said, hey, look out for one of the workers. So if the worker did do it, did they do it for Joe? Or did they do it because of a target? The owner of Zuri Resort, he's an investor. Did he give some money to Joe? CD. I told you he invested in the medical field in Tanzania, right across the water. It's proof he gave money to Joe because he's one of the investors. It's on record. Was any of that 300 million some of his money that was lost? Was any of that 300 million some of the money of the owner of Zuri that was lost? Think about that. If the owner of Zuri, if it was 20 million that was lost from the owner of Zuri, and it was 20 million lost, you don't think somebody's neck going to be on the line? Literally $20 million. Like I said, I've seen people die for free. And he's the owner of the resort. You don't think he could pull some strings? And I'm not saying he did it. Not saying that. But I'm just answering questions for you guys because I already know you got questions, and I got the answers already. And then you have CD in Tanzania, which is right across the water. What if it was it? What if he put 20 million in? He's only right across the water. I'm not saying he is personally, but he has people over there because he has investments right across the water in the medical field. So how do we know? The thing is, we got a couple of people here. We got a few motives, but we just don't know what the motive is. So hopefully Zanzibar will release some more information. Hopefully this comes out soon that we can actually see proof of. Until then, we just don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Hopefully I cleared some things up for you guys. All right. Comment below if you heard of this case, and comment below. What do you think? What theory do you believe? What do you believe? The whole Target thing, does it make sense to you now that I broke it down a little bit more? Her doing it to herself, does it make sense? Or does Joe make sense? I mean, all of it can make sense when you really think about it. You have three theories here that we don't know, So comment below what country you're from. I try to interact with everybody that I can. All right. Please help me. I'm almost at 25,000 subscribers. This is Fugitive TV. Love one another. Take care of one another. Look out at your surroundings. Watch your surroundings. Until next time, I am out.